I just paid a $2 stupidity tax for getting stuck in a parking garage in my Tesla. But on the bright side, I did have time to contemplate what the future of cybercabs look like and see how it looks for Grok to be our air traffic controller. Also, you'll see what happens when you floor it with FSD engaged. I might be the supervisor, but we're all passengers together. Let's rock. All right, welcome aboard. Our mission is to get home from the gym and see if I learned my lessons on self-driving my way out of this parking garage, which was kind of a disaster last week, where I totally screwed up, disengaged. It was screaming at me. Did good on the way in, so we're going to see if we can get out. Hey, KITT, let's go home.
Heading home, about 30 minutes away, 14 miles.
All right, I got my ticket this time. I know I need to scan it. I don't know where we're going in the garage right now because the exit is down below. But the car seems to think it knows where it's going. So I'm willing to bet that the car is not realizing what it's done wrong. I don't think there's another exit out of this garage at a higher level. How long is it going to go before it doesn't understand what it's doing? While we're on our garage tour, you might be asking, well, why am I not just stopping this and turning it around? Normally, I think I would. Today, I'm feeling curious. And if you want to fast forward through this, you totally can. But sometimes I'm just interested in seeing how it resolves certain problems, how far it will take it. Right now, it seems to be looking for the exit, and it's definitely not going to find one now unless it can fly. I don't know if you guys have heard about the upcoming Tesla Roadster reveal for this year. I think they're targeting like somewhere around April or May. Of course, all the hot rumors are that it's going to have fans in it that suck it down to the ground so that it can do like unreal cornering. Now, when Elon was on, oh, do we have an exit? Nope, doesn't say any more exits. We're just going to keep going in circles. So Elon was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I heard the interview, and Rogan kept asking him, well, does it fly? And Elon's response was, I think it has a shot at being the world's most memorable product demo. And I think he might have even said like epic fail or absolutely amazing. And of course the Rogan hype was, he was thinking, oh, that means that the car can fly. But it sounds like, based on the intel that's been gathered, it really has to do with the fact that it's got these fans in it that they've got patents for, I guess, that are underneath the car. And there must be some sort of, air suction system that sucks the car down to the ground with these fans. And I'm just wondering what kind of force that generates to be able to do that. Will be really interesting. Some future elementary school kid is going to have a new science fair experiment on their hands. So we're rolling here, and eventually we're going to get now to the roof. It's just us and the HVACs, KITT. What do you think? Now, see, what's going to be able to happen in the future, I believe, is that, airplanes, when they fly through the sky, are able to make their own decisions. The pilot is in command at all times. But they have air traffic control that tells them whether they're clear to land, clear to take off, and then the pilot is the one always piloting. I think we're going to be in for a similar situation with Teslas. Here we are, KITT. We've arrived at a wall. Now what? What are you going to do? All right, we're going to back up and turn around. So I think what's going to happen in using air traffic control with airplanes as an example. Nice view up here. I kind of needed that today. Mental reset. I think what we're going to see is that Grok will function like an air traffic controller. And you will be able to talk to Grok and reason out what it is you want to do. Okay, yes, I'm paying attention. You will be able to reason out what it is you want to do. So for example, in this situation, maybe what I could do is I could pull up Grok right away and I could explain, hey, you need to go to the left to get out of this parking garage. And it'll say something like, got it, making sure we go to the left when we exit. Then Grok will issue some sort of standardized command protocol to the Tesla AI. And the Tesla AI will receive that and say and accept that, as long as it's an acceptable type of command, and will then pilot the vehicle, meaning that as long as it's safe to move to the left and it deems that appropriate, then it's going to follow that to get out. It already knows it's looking for the exit of a parking garage. So I think that's just an example of what we're going to see when you're able to use your own natural language to explain things, the context of what you want to the vehicle. Now, why does this matter? Any of you out there that have been watching for the Cybercab news, I think it's now active in 5 cities: Austin, San Francisco, Chicago, up in upstate New York, and the other one was Massachusetts now. So they've got Cybercabs on the ground. Now, obviously, these Cybercabs are outfitted with Cybertruck steering wheels temporarily while they're doing more testing. But the future Cybercabs obviously have to be completely autonomous. And so do regular Teslas operating as Robotaxis. So in that situation, I think there's not going to be any way around the human still needing a way to communicate intent or context with the vehicle based on what the human knows about where to go or what to navigate. I don't think it's sufficient just to be able to press, a selection that says driveway or curbside or, hello, fellow Tesla, or parking lot, like parking garage. Those are good to choose that stuff. But in a robotaxi world, you're going to need to be able to get more specific. I mean, I would say right now, I disengage the FSD probably 80 to 90% of the time when we're arriving somewhere. And usually that's because of just being paranoid about getting dings on the car and wanting to make sure I'm parking in a place where I'm less likely to get a ding. So, but having said that, I would like to be able to just indicate on the screen where I want to park and then do that without having to deactivate. It works fine. I've gotten better at it. People seem to be getting less annoyed with me. All right, we're back from where we left. Now, I may have ran out of time for me to use this ticket because I only had 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure I'm over the 10-minute limit, so I might be about to be stuck here. I'm supposed to be out of this parking garage in like 10 minutes flat from the time I scan my ticket. So I'm going to blame you, KITT. If it's been more than 10 minutes, you can pay the bill. All right, now we're... No, don't do that. Oh, there is an exit down there. All right, I corrected it. So there was another exit out there, but we're going to use this one. It's pulling up. I can't reach that, dude. Have you seen my arms? Oh, I got it. Nice. I didn't know I had that good a scannability. All right, so gate up. See, it's going to charge me another $2 because of you. I'm going to send that bill to Tesla. And I can't do it right now. Let's see. I got to get out my credit card because my phone is currently in use to record for these people. Yep, I can't reach it. Now you're going to get mad. Oh, Jesus. I had to tap. Just a little tap, tap, taparoo. $2 more that cost me for the 10-minute limit. I don't want the damn receipt. You can keep it. All right, let's go. Now, all y'all out there watching, if I were you watching right now, I would be talking some junk at me because I'm the one who was like, oh, Mr. Let's go for a curiosity ride. I didn't know it was about to be a $2 waste of money curiosity ride. All right, let's go. One thing I've been doing a little bit more of is continuing to give it gas in various situations. I'll tell you all about how and when I do that here, since it might not be obvious when I'm doing it. And we'll see what we learn from that on this home trip here. It does stop a little short, but I think we're good in that instance. All right, now we're off. So, like I was saying, the robotaxis are going to be bonkers, and they're going to be able to interact with you via voice. That's my opinion, but I'd be shocked if not, because there's no pedals, and there's no steering wheel. Obviously, they're going to need to be capable of going anywhere on their own. They have to assume that you're not paying attention. That's a big deal. However, they're going to want to create an incredible user experience. Now, the other thing that is important about the robotaxis is, if you saw the headlines, they said that Tesla is hiring for iOS engineers to create an incredible user experience for users of iOS Apple iPhones. And so I've only spent a little time trying to imagine how they might try to recreate the phone experience, because I think the most easy thing is just to assume that it's going to be like using Uber, where you interact with, you put an address in, and you do the things that Uber does. And I'm sure it'll have some similarities. But what other new opportunities are there to do things when you start? Oh, pump the brakes right there. I guess because it couldn't see over that hump. We're turning right, yeah. What other opportunities are there to reimagine how you would do an app like Uber for robotaxi experience? I have to imagine one of those things is, how in the Uber app you can communicate with your driver, or have certain settings pertaining to the ride, arrival, things like that. I think there'll be some kind of concept of your intent for what you want to do when you get there, or instructions pertaining to it. But I also have to imagine, so I think they're going to want redundancy in multiple fashions. So I should be able to, as somebody that's riding in a robotaxi, be able to configure my arrival, or specifics or additional information about the arrival in the application. And of course, that'll be available via probably a set of options, but potentially able to add context via a chat interface with a AI, Grok, understanding and clarifying what you want. Obviously, they'll have to boil it down to discrete commands at the end of the day for arrival instructions. But I think you'll be able to do the same thing by hitting the touch screen in the robotaxi, if it's a Cybercab, by pressing a Grok button inside of it. And then you'll go through, I would think, some sort of conversational process to clarify, and Grok will get you down to, is this what you mean, or is this what you want, or is this the exact spot, or is this pin in the right place? And I can imagine you being able to drag, confirm, and all that. Now, again, air traffic control. So if you drop a pin on the roof of a building that doesn't have a ramp up to it, well, the car is going to be like, sorry, can't do that. I'm parking here, for the absence of a more clear choice, right? And I don't think the robotaxi will necessarily allow you to just waste its time, but I mean, you are going to be paying for it. So it's certainly not going to let you do anything unsafe, obviously. So that'll be interesting to see how it interacts with you to create a great user experience. They have to be aware. I mean, if it's all over X, that, see, it's going to go right around that parked car and cut this line. That's exactly what I would have done. Thank you, Mad Max. Attaboy. So they have to be thinking about the fact that all you see, if you monitor some of these FSD videos and self-driving videos on X right now, is that people are talking about how they have to deactivate in parking lots and arrivals, and how the navigation issues are really the problem. All right, I'm going to punch the accelerator here a little bit. Say hi to our fellow Model Y friend here, if we can. So, just paying attention to what's going on here. I don't guess I need these anymore if it's going to be dark. So they're not, if you look all over X, you know that, all right, follow them. There you go. There you go. There's a lot of communication on X about the navigation issues. People basically say, hey, at this point, that's the main issue. That's the only thing that stinks about this. And so obviously they're taking that user feedback and working on it. I can't wait to see what kind of solution they have. Now, one thing I don't know is, how does Tesla handle its maps? If anybody, if you're watching this video and you know more about how Tesla actually handles the mapping, do they license Google Maps for that? I have to imagine they wouldn't, since Google owns Waymo. So what kind of mapping technology are they using? And what is the opportunity for the user to discuss different routes with Grok that then plots that on the map? Grok already does a great job finding the things and automatically making the routes. But what if you could tell Grok more things about how you want the route to be followed? Like, hey, instead of taking this road to get there, take this road to get there and route it that way. That kind of thing. I have to imagine that's coming. And along with that, all the arrival instructions. Now, this has been a good little Mad Max through that traffic right there, because I don't like riding next to other people if I can help it. It's just a preference. Like, I don't want to be around the crazies when something happens. And so I like how it navigated right through there, and now we're at clear racetrack ahead, which is good. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to take the lead? Take the lead. I'm going to tell it to. Okay. It wasn't about to do it. Maybe it was, but I didn't want that car taking it. See, I always want to get on the front row if I can. For those of you out there who might be racing fans like myself, we're going to punch it a little bit. Let's go. I can't resist the acceleration in this thing. I try not to really press it. In fact, the other night, here's a funny story. The other night, guy is on my ass when I'm trying to drive home. And I actually hadn't been doing much of touching the gas with it yet. And I'm on this 2-lane road on the way to my house. And it's not like I'm speeding, but I'm not it's a 45 mile per hour 2-lane road. And it's the early evening time, really not many cars out, just me and him, but he is on my ass and it's annoying me. And so I'm thinking, like, I wonder if he's ever seen the acceleration potential of an electric vehicle. Not that the Model 3 is like the beacon, it's not a Plaid, right? We're not doing 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, but 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds will still push your head back. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to pop the throttle a little bit and show this guy what it looks like to lose him. And so I did that, but my muscle memory was my old car with my Camry, where basically you could press the gas all the way and wait for something to happen. And so my instinct when I wanted to press the gas was press it all the way. Well, this car accelerates so damn fast that before I knew it, I was at the curve coming up. And I was turning at a rate of speed through that curve faster than I planned on, we'll just say. And, with the regenerative braking, you can scrub speed so easily just by reducing that throttle input, which is pretty cool. For any of you out there who've actually driven a race car, it reminds me of driving a race car where you're trying to maximize the speed turn in without getting slippage on the tires. And one of the ways you manage that in racing is you modulate the throttle to allow the tires to grip and the car to turn, and manage the turning that way without using the brake in some cases. And so this felt like that, but even to an more extreme, because you actually had the regenerative braking in play that allowed me to slow down around the turn just by getting out of the gas. And I didn't even have to touch the brake, and I made it through the turn. But the turn was a little bit, the car was a little bit, I guess, antsy through it. And I almost sensed like the car was ensuring better grip or somehow regulating the rear wheels to ensure we didn't get any slippage through that turn. I think with the rear-wheel drive extended range like this one, I believe it you know, it only has the motor, the wheels, it's only turning the rear wheels. So that's part of how you get the longer range, I guess. But in certain situations, like if you're looking for 4-tire grip, that can come into play. All right, so we're going to be turning to the right up here to get out of this traffic. It's pretty cool here when you get to see how it's mapping so many cars around this busy area near the mall. It's really doing, it does such a nice job taking it all in, all at once. It's really pretty amazing. I know sometimes when I'm driving, you almost feel so distracted from a lot of busyness going on around you that not only is it stressful, but it's like, it's just your brain can't take in all the visual information. We know human beings only take in like a very small percentage with their focus of what's actually going on around them. And it's so cool to see the car be able to actually take all that in. All right, we're going to merge here into cars coming on. That one's coming up fast. All right, we let them go. Now, the previous driver in me would have punched the gas seeing that guy coming and got in front of him. But like I've been feeling, I'm more chill now in the car. There's something about when you don't have to be in vigilance mode based on, hey, whatever I do with this wheel is life or death decisions here. When you're not in vigilance mode like that, it really just allows you, I think, your nervous system is in a different state, is what it is. That's why people get so keyed up in traffic with road rage and crap like that. It's because their nervous system is keyed up. So we got several cars that we're navigating right now. It doesn't really look like there's anywhere to go, so Mad Max is just chilling here. But it looks like we're planning on staying on this road straight. We actually have several options if we don't want to stay in this traffic. But we got somebody to our inside here, and we're not going to be able to turn yet. Now I could potentially maneuver over. Okay, see, now we got yellow lights up there, so I might want to give us the option. So I'm going to tell the car to get over to the left, which it did nicely. And I could turn to the left here, but that same car is on my inside, so we're just going to wait. Let's see if I can go to the left now. No. Now, I could have gone all the way over there to the left, but the vehicle didn't want to do it. I've been sort of experimenting with how much influence can I have on the vehicle based on the lane changing. And in this map here, we're going, you see, we're going straight up this way, but I could have gone that way, which sometimes I do. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, this is probably the fastest route. So we'll see. You know, as you ride around and you look at the drivers around you, you realize how much people assume that everybody is driving their own vehicle. Most people, you have a lot more time to observe and kind of look at people and see, like, do they realize that the robot's driving here? But they really don't. They're just doing their own thing. Not that I'm like looking for, hey, look at me. That's not what I mean. More like I have more time to observe, and I'm noticing that people aren't really paying very much attention to, you know, what's going on. So then, in other words, I wonder if they feel more or less safe. Do you feel more or less safe when you are around a vehicle that's driving itself? Obviously, based on the data, you should feel more safe. You should be glad that I am not the one making the decisions around you compared to the car, I mean. So I see it as a good thing. But, you know, I think everybody's got an uncle like this. Me and my uncle, God bless his soul. He is an old school guy, wallpaper hanger from New York for his whole life. Has his original wallpaper hanging van with like 430,000 miles on it. Has a second vehicle with like 50,000 miles on it. Tells me today he's going to sell that one and keep the van because the other one has too many electronics. That's the kind of guy we're talking about here. So I tell him, I got a Tesla, it can drive itself. And he writes back, oh, never in a million years. Not for me, not happening. And that's fine. If people, free country. But there's going to be a lot of people on the roads like that just have no trust of a vehicle driving them because they want to be in control. So I wonder what percentage of those people are going to judge completely in a misplaced way those of us using the self-driving vehicle, because they might look at it and say, oh, that guy's being unsafe, or can you believe they're doing that? Or even though it should be the opposite is what I'm saying. I wonder if that'll be like a thing that you have to watch out for. I think everybody should at least try it. You should be open-minded to trying things. You should at least take a ride in one. I got somebody that I'm going to give a ride to this weekend, one of my neighbors who works in tech, never ridden in a Tesla. Hell, I hadn't ridden in one until I got in this one. So there's a lot of people out there like that. In fact, I think I read it's only like 5 or 10% of people that, there's our mystery windshield wipers. I think it's only like 5 or 10% of people that have Teslas have or use full self-driving. Maybe they have it, but they haven't always used it or don't use it all the time. I'm still sitting pretty on 98%. KITT here has been 438 miles. We're holding steady at 98%. Now, if I had known what I was doing the first day I had this thing, we'd probably be up at 99%. But I had to deactivate a couple times. I didn't have FSD when I drove it home from the dealership, so that was actually like 4 or 5 miles right there. And there was like another mile when it deactivated because I didn't understand that it was telling me to pay attention better. So I keep looking to see what the ratio is, but I'm still, because there's preferences around parking lots and other things, I'm adding like, half a tenth of a mile here or there, and that's continuing to rack up a little bit more non-self-driving miles. But we'll see. I'm trying to close the gap. I would like it to say 99%. I will admit. It's a vanity metric, means nothing, but I would like it to say 99. All right, that light's green up there, I can see. Let's give it a little gas and see if we can get to it, because that's what I would really do. All right, does the car see it? Car sees it. Let's go. Oh, yeah. That was cool. Hung that turn nicely. Okay, so I gave it gas, approached the turn fast. The car wasn't scared. Like, that's one of the things I've been looking for, is how does it respond to that user input? And it doesn't. You would almost think it's going to jump out of self-driving really easily in that situation. So what it did was we aggressively approached the green light at the turn. The car saw it was obviously a green light, and rather than just scrubbing off a lot more speed to resume sort of like maybe a safer turn to the left, it just leaned into it. That felt good. If the car is making me lean a little bit, then we're having some fun. Obviously, if you're in a Cybercab, none of that's going to happen. But you won't care because you'll be on your phone looking at your friends on Instagram. So we're approaching my neck of the woods here, and so far I would say drive is a 10 out of 10. I've had several situations where I've given it some throttle. That last turn was one example that was super fun, made the light, because I think we all want to still benefit, or those of us that do want to benefit from self-driving, we still want to have some of our preferences honored or occur, right? Like, you don't want to have to stop at every yellow light that you could have made, things like that. And one of those turns right there that you don't want to wait through a whole nother light cycle if you don't have to, you still want to be able to do that stuff. So for those of us that are pretty much Mad Max all the timers, 24/7 when we're driving, I think that it's important to be able to give it that little bit more input. Now, this road is nice and straight here, usually not many cars on it. You have to watch out for deer, which I know the car does a good job of that. But let's actually test out giving it a little bit more throttle a little more aggressively and see how well it stays in Mad Max and what happens. So coming up here, there's a pretty long straightaway. I'm gonna press the gas more aggressively, and let's see what it does with how it handles the speed and the full self-driving staying engaged. As long as it's clear and appears safe to do so. Let's see. Not here. Coming around here. One thing I like about this thing is I know that it can see animals and deer better than I can. All right, here's the straightaway. We got a car passing. I'm going to do it after this car goes by me. Ready? Let's give it some gas and see what happens. Wow. All right, so we just accelerated from 45 to almost 80 miles per hour there. Felt awesome. Car did start backing it down, but now we're doing 65 over. So I'm gonna disengage and let it slow down. I touched the brake. It immediately disengaged when I touched the brake. Now I'm gonna re-engage. Be attentive. I know I'm getting better at it, KITT. Now I could have let it continue on its own there. It was gonna click along at 65 miles an hour. I didn't really want to do that through here. This is, still trying to be reasonably safe. I am going to get it a little back up to speed, 50s at least. And I'm actually surprised it didn't even, in that acceleration moment, it didn't even flash up something. What I was looking for is it going to flash up something on the screen to say, hey, about to disengage? Because it did do that the other day when I was kind of staying in the gas, but I didn't have it floored. So that was pretty interesting. Now, I'm not advocating for flooring it wherever you're at. I'm not trying to street race here, but I do think it's important to learn these things. A lot of people criticize Elon and SpaceX for blowing up rockets. These people do not understand the process. You have to blow up some rockets to figure out where your tolerances and thresholds are. In other words, if I can run that rocket 3x what it's supposedly safe to do, but it blows up once I hit 4x what's safe to do, well, then I know where the line is. And if the protocol is you run it 1x, but there's a weird situation where for some reason you need to run it 2x or even up to 3x, you know that in safety testing, it could handle that, even though that's not what it's supposed to do. You got to find where the line is. That's why race car drivers wreck. They're always trying to find that line. They're just really good at not wrecking most of the time. Now, I'm not planning on wrecking anything. I got a great driving record. Let's keep it that way, to be clear. I think having a clean supervision record in your self-driving vehicle is pretty important. And I can't wait until we go unsupervised. And then I can really start being even more productive behind the wheel. If I could spend all of my driving time even just doing stuff on my phone, but even beyond that, what I might do is I might have one of those little trays in front of me where I can just put the seat back further and then just work on a small mini laptop. Like that would be awesome. I think if you got the full connectivity package, which I do, then I think you can even get Wi-Fi or not Wi-Fi, but internet through that, right? I have to look into that. I think as good as Starlink is getting right now, that I want to see by 2027 or 2028, all new Teslas come with a Starlink receiver embedded in the roof somehow. Like in this little bar that's in the roof. On top of that, you shouldn't even be able to necessarily see it through the glass, but a little Starlink receiver. And then that way, you pay your Starlink subscription at your car, and you've got 100 megabytes per second. And you're taking Zoom meetings in your car on the go. I think that's right around the corner, hopefully. All right, so we are rolling up. I would say mission accomplished. Navigated all the traffic, had no issues. The only deactivations were caused by me for user error, but none of those were problematic. We did go on a $2 garage tour, but we learned something from that too. So thanks y'all for riding with me. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. And if you want to look into getting your own Tesla, use my referral link. You can save like $500 to $1,000. I wish I had realized that. I was a dummy that didn't even realize that was possible, and so I didn't use anybody's referral link, and I could have saved myself $500, which would have been nice. So make sure use somebody's referral link, even if you're not going to use mine. But appreciate it if you do. I'll use that to make more of these videos, get more supplies from Tesla, and hopefully help everybody continue to learn more about what it's like when driving becomes optional.
Nice ride of mine.